Everyone has rough days. The school calls again because your child can't keep up or is disrupting the class. You lie awake at night exhausted, but your mind won't shut off. Your partner, parent, or best friend keeps losing control of their emotions, and nothing you say or do seems to make a difference. Your own mind feels foggy, anxious, or restless, like no matter how hard you try, you just can't find the calm or focus you're reaching for. You tell yourself it's a phase, a bad day, tomorrow will be better. If you just try harder, change one more thing, wait it out, things will shift. But what happens when they don't? When night after night, sleep still won't come. When the tension builds, the thoughts race, and emotions feel too big to manage. When anxiety creeps in, and despite all your effort and love, nothing truly changes. What happens when, even after doing all the right things, there's still no real relief? Hi, I'm Diane Costo, founder of Symmetry Neuro-Pathway training. I know what that struggle feels like because I lived it with my son. We tried everything and nothing worked until we finally saw what was really going on inside his brain. When we could actually see the brainwave patterns behind the behavior and train his brain to move to healthier rhythms, everything began to change. This technology driven learning for the brain didn't just help, it saved his life. And it opened my eyes to something no one ever told us. Sometimes the problem isn't effort, it's how the brain's wired. And it just needs help learning a different way. That's why someone shared this with you. Because if you've been doing everything you can and nothing's shifting, there might be more to the story than anyone realized. So, as you watch, take a breath. Stay curious, maybe grab a pen or pencil, something to take some notes with. You might just see your experience in a whole new light. And then you get to decide. Keep on doing what you've been doing and hoping things will change, or reach out to the person that shared this video with you and find out what's really going on inside the brain. Reset your brain: how to reduce stress, improve focus, and build resilience in only minutes a day. You might not be sure how you got here, but something told you to stop and listen, and that tells me a lot. Likely you're here because something in your life or a loved one's life just isn't working the way that it should. You've tried different tools, maybe therapy, maybe structure, maybe prescription medications or supplements, but things still feel stuck. Maybe it's the constant overwhelm, the outbursts and meltdowns, the struggle for sleep, the way everything feels like a battle. You aren't alone, and you aren't broken. What you are seeing might not be a behavior issue. It could be related to brainwave dysregulation. The good news: it doesn't have to stay that way. The brain can learn to better regulate. And when it does, life starts to shift. Teen struggling with anxiety now sleeps and is able to regulate their emotions. A parent who felt powerless now feels hopeful and supported. A veteran overwhelmed by daily stress now feels steady and in control. I invite you to stay present with me. Take a deep breath. Jot down your thoughts as we go through this presentation. Let this be a moment you pause the noise and consider something new. What if the problem isn't just behavior? What if your brain or your child's brain isn't misbehaving, it's dysregulated? We live in a world that keeps our nervous system constantly activated, and we're asking our brains to perform while they're still trying to protect us. Dysregulation can look like learning disabilities, sleep struggles, cognitive decline, memory problems, hypervigilance, meltdowns or shutdowns, impulsive behavior, attention problems, anxiety, being immune to internal cues, and depression. These are signs that the brain is working overtime and can't reset. Take a second and ask yourself, why does this matter to you? Why are you seeking change right now? We've been taught to focus on behavior. If we just incentivize better, create more structure, stay calmer, try harder, things will improve. But here's the truth: no strategy works if the brain isn't regulated first. Behavior is downstream of brain function. When the brain's dysregulated, even the best parenting, therapy, or strategies can fall short. Our brains work through electrical signals called brainwaves. These brainwaves shift depending on what we need: focus, rest, connection, sleep. But stress, trauma, overstimulation can cause brainwaves to get stuck in the wrong pattern at the wrong time. When that happens, we don't just feel off, we are off. And the more it happens, the harder it becomes to shift back on our own. Everyone's brainwaves get dysregulated at times. It's part of being a human. When that happens, a brain map helps us see what's really going on, where the brain is working too hard, not enough, or out of balance. This is an image of a brain map happening. We put a snug cap on the head, squeeze a little gel in there, and we're going to take recordings of the brainwave communication, that electrical activity. We're going to take those recordings with eyes closed and eyes open. Based on the information, we know what areas of that brain are working well and which may need a little help. Imagine the moment you finally understand why your child struggles, why you feel stuck. When you finally see what your brain or your child's brain is doing, the shame fades, the story shifts, and real change finally has a place to begin. At Symmetry Neuro-Pathway training, we use a gentle, technology-driven learning process for the brain. It's called neurofeedback, a science-based way to guide the brain back into healthy patterns using real-time information. It's non-invasive, drug, and pain-free. You simply wear sensors that monitor your brainwaves while you relax, listen to an audio, or watch your favorite shows on a streaming service. When your brainwaves move into a healthy pattern, the sound becomes clearer and the video brightens. When they drift out of balance, the sound or video fades slightly, giving your brain instant feedback to self-correct. In this video, you can see the screen on the left that the client is viewing is fading. The video and volume is going up and down according to the brainwave activity. Typically, the client would not see the screen on the right. The screen on the right is capturing the EEG activity. You can see when the bars turn green, the brain is meeting the goal, and the video on the left is brighter. When the bars on the right screen turn red, the brain is not meeting the goals, and so the video and the audio fade lower. All the brain needs is that subtle fading of the video as a reward, and it will learn to produce those healthier patterns. So by giving the brain that type of information, the brain can actually change the patterns it produces and create new neural pathways in the brain. As brainwave regulation improves, people often notice fewer emotional outbursts, better sleep, increased focus, more resilience under stress, greater self-awareness, and improved relationships. Take a moment now. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable. Breathe in deeply. Now imagine a morning where your brain wakes up already aligned, where focus, calm, and clarity come naturally. Sound too good to be true? Let's look at the data. Jacob came to us struggling with absence seizures, headaches, poor sleep, and focus issues. After consistent neurofeedback sessions, his symptoms reduced by nearly 80%. His sleep improved, he felt calmer, he had more energy, and his seizures became less frequent. Lisa came to us feeling exhausted, anxious, and overwhelmed. After a car accident, her sleep, focus, and sense of balance weren't the same. After 40 consistent neurofeedback sessions, her symptoms decreased by more than 70%. Her sleep improved, she felt more energized, and her anxiety eased, allowing her to think more clearly and stay organized throughout the day. Two different stories, but one simple truth. When the brain learns to better regulate, everything starts to change. Here's what we've learned so far. Your brain isn't broken, neither is your loved one's brain. Brainwaves matter more than we've been taught. When the brain learns to regulate better, everything starts to shift, and real measurable change begins to take place. Another testimonial from Holly. Neurofeedback saved my life. After months of debilitating brain fog and anxiety post COVID, nothing worked until I used neurofeedback. Within weeks, my clarity, sleep, and peace of mind returned. It was a solution I desperately needed. Imagine what change will look like for you and your family. You have two paths forward. You can keep trying to fix the symptoms with willpower, structure, and strategies. Or get your brain mapped and finally see what your brainwaves are showing you and use brainwave regulation to support real, lasting change. Your brain tells a story that's uniquely yours. That's why we don't offer cookie cutter solutions. The next step is simply to connect with the person or organization who shared this webinar with you. They'll help you explore your options and find the path that fits you best.